I'll call the Monday, September 16th, 2024 meeting of the Barnstable Community Preservation Committee to order. I'll make the announcement. This meeting of the Community Preservation Committee is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable's Government Access Channel. In accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20, the chair must inquire whether anyone else is recording this meeting and to please make their presence known. Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Terry Duenas, not here yet. Deb Converse.
Here.
Catherine Garofoli.
Here.
Tom Lee.
Here.
Farley Lewis.
Here.
Steve Robichaud will not be attending, and Lindsay Council is here. Very good. Starting with the agenda, we received no letters of intent this month, so we can move on to the applications. An application has been received from the Orenda Wildlife Trust Incorporated seeking $100,000 in community preservation open space funds for the acquisition and preservation of a 5.5 acre property on Smith's Creek, a major tributary of the Barnstable Great Marsh in West Barnstable. Total land purchase price is $400,000, with matching funds to be provided through a state conservation grant and private fundraising. Acquisition of this property would continue the decades-long effort by the Town of Barnstable, State Fish and Game, Barnstable Land Trust, and Orenda to preserve this major Cape Cod embayment. The property is a priority habitat for rare species, and its preservation would protect the freshwater and tidal wetlands lying within 300 feet. The Town of Barnstable will co-hold the conservation restriction with the Compact of Cape Cod Conservation Trusts. And I believe we have Mark Robinson here to speak to this. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mark Robinson, the Executive Director of the Compact of Cape Cod Conservation Trusts, and I serve as an advisor to the Orenda Wildlife Land Trust. Work in that capacity, providing them with technical assistance since 1988, if you can believe it. This is a very interesting property. Was brought forward to us this winter. We negotiated a purchase price. It's a small bargain. It's been appraised at $410,000. And it's a wonderful property running along the east side of the Smiths Creek, which is a little drainage coming from the south side of Route 6A, flowing under through a culvert, and then coming out onto this property, and then draining eventually into Scorton Creek in the harbor. Why Orenda decided that they would need to stretch a little bit, and this is their first major purchase of land, is because they've already have some major properties on the other side of Smiths Creek, including at the end of Meadow Lane, where they have the Wyman Turtle Garden, an important nesting habitat for the threatened diamondback terrapin, state-listed rare species. And so we have submitted a grant to the state through the Conservation Partnership Program. We submitted that in July. We have not yet heard the results, favorable or not, but we expect to hear within the next month or two. That would reimburse the Orenda Wildlife Land Trust for half of the purchase price. We're asking the town for $100,000 and to be secured by a perpetual conservation restriction, and the Orenda would be conducting private fundraising, including their gardening for Wildlife Gala, which is coming up in October, and the proceeds of that would go towards this purchase as well. So it's kind of a community effort. Dan Morast, who's the president of Orenda, was expecting to be here.
He's here.
Oh, yes. Okay.
That is here.
We might ask him if he would like to speak too, Lindsay, but otherwise I'm happy to answer questions.
Sure. Go ahead, Dan.
Sorry, I can figure out how these things work. I certainly thank everybody for considering this project. Indeed, as Mark said, our turtle garden effort protecting the nests and protecting the young hatchling turtles has been a huge success for us, both in numbers, but also in member and community participation. And we look forward to expanding our footprint, if you will, on the Great Marsh and interacting with the other organizations and expanding our project. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Any question from members, from Mark or Dan? Seeing none, do we have anybody from the public, David, standing by, would like to comment on this?
I don't believe so. What if there is anybody here? Now is your time to speak for public comment.
This is Steve Rizzo. Being involved in conservation efforts around the north side of the Cape, we're definitely in favor of this conservation and Orenda's acquiring of the property.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Any other questions from members? If we were to have a motion, I would recommend that it read to take the first allocation of funds from the open space and the recreation fund and any remainder that would be needed to be coming out of the undesignated fund. Anyone sensing a motion here?
Do we know how much money we have under the open space?
I'm not sure with I believe we are tapped out, but I would just do it as I suggested. The balance on that changes depending on projects going through Mark Milne. So the best way to do it now is to take it first out of the open space and recreation fund and any remaining balance required to take it from the undesignated.
I'll make a motion to approve this projects with the first funding from the open space and the remaining of the funding from the undesignated portion of the CPC money.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the project Orenda acquiring 5.85 parcel in West Barnstable? No other questions? I'll call the roll. Terry Duenas join us yet? No? Deb Converse?
Yes.
Catherine Garofoli?
Yes.
Tom Lee?
Yes.
Polly Lewis?
Yes.
And Lindsay Council votes yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Folks, for bringing
Martin.
this in.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Dan.
We'll be going to see Tom's Conservation Commission soon, and I hope on October 1st, and seek their endorsement as well, the Open Space Committee.
All right, keep us posted. We'll set up a grant agreement with you guys for the funding, and we'll get ready for the closing and those things directly.
Thank you very much, all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. No additional correspondence came in, right, Ellen? We didn't get any additional correspondence? No?
Nope, not this time.
Okay. Then I'll go into the project updates. We haven't heard anything from Federated Church on their bids for the restoration of the Universalist Cemetery. We'll have to touch base and see if we can get Pam Brown in here to give us an update on her status. Can we put that on for October, Ellen, to get Pam in?
Yes, I can. I do think that she will be ready next month.
You do think so? You've
Yes.
heard from her recently?
Yes, with her application, she did call saying that she's close on her bids. You know, that she has 2 and she's waiting on
Okay.
the 3rd. So
Well,
she's
we'll need-
definitely intending.
We'll need to set up the grant agreement with her on that, so
Okay.
let's plan on having her come in. Oakmont Road, we still have not received any communication from the Barnstable Fire District. I have asked Hyannis Water folks if they wanted to participate and don't have any definitive answer on that from them. That may just turn into an open space acquisition standing on its own for the folks out there in Cummaquid.
Lindsay, this is Steve Rizzo again. The only update I have is that the Prudential Committee did vote to withdraw their application, and they asked the water superintendent to send a letter. If you look at the August meeting minutes for the Prudential Committee for the Barnstable Fire District, you'll see it's the last item on the meeting minutes.
All right, so they're out then, and we'll go forward from here.
Very good.
Can I add one quick thing?
Certainly.
That last time I talked about forming a nonprofit corporation, and I believe I have completed all those steps, and we will be working now with Mark and seeing where we go from there.
That's the same Cummaquid Woods group.
Yes,
correct?
I'm sorry, I should have identified that.
Thank you very much. Any questions on any of that, folks? No? The town council approved the Wheeler Holly Preserve Trail easement at the September 5th meeting. So that project is complete, and there's a plan of record provided for that. We did get a brief update from Mark Marinaccio, and the Centerville and Osterville playground projects are moving. And he was able, who I understand, recently hire some additional staff. He's been looking for additional staff person for quite some time, and they are coming on board. So that's great news for us. The bidding process for the Cape Cod Rail Trail by Mass DOT is underway for Phase 3, and the award is due October 1st. So we'll see how that goes. We'll be interested to get that started and get construction underway on that. The Affordable Housing Growth and Development Trust Fund Board semi-annual report to CPC is anticipated to be received for the October 21st, 2024 CPC meeting. So we'll see what they've been up to then. And that will be interesting to see what's coming out of their project list. I know they've been doing some, I believe, Deb, they were doing some pre-construction awards, if I'm not mistaken.
They also have, that's to simplify it, yeah. They're mostly in Hyannis on the east end.
Yeah. So we'll be interested to see how they've progressed at the October 21st meeting.
Yeah.
We're partnering with the BLT to look at the 304 Putnam Ave project. That's the land adjacent to the Mosswood Cemetery. The town may actually acquire the lion's share of that to expand the cemetery, but there may be some open space left. So that'll be an interesting project. That project has been on sleep mode for over 5 years. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes out. That's the area just to the west of Putnam Ave, just before you get to the center of Cotuit, right by Mosswood. The Historical Society of Santuit and Cotuit Phase 2 work application has been forwarded to the Town Council for a public hearing scheduling. That we finished last meeting. And Ellen very efficiently completed the Community Preservation 3 report and the updates for the State Department of Revenue. So we're all up to date with our paperwork on that. And we'll be looking to see just what the next step for the State Department of Revenue is to match for this year. So that'll be very interesting to see. And as I understand it, and most of you probably heard, the action at the Registry of Deeds has slowed way down. So it'll be less than previous years, but we don't know the numbers yet. Any questions on any of those? Everything seems to be chugging along here. Next item is the meeting format for October 21st, 2024. I believe, Ellen, you're going to be out of town, right? So we were,
I could be, so I have to babysit. My daughter's having a baby on Friday,
Wow.
before that. And we know this because it's a C-section, so, so I'm gonna.
oh, so you know the birthday.
We know the birthday. So I have to babysit grandchild number 1. And
Congratulations.
and then I'm going to be letting her out of the hospital till Monday, the day of the meeting. I can definitely sign on to this meeting if regardless of what time she gets out, if it's a remote meeting, but I might have some difficulty getting through Boston if they let her out in the afternoon of that day, getting all the way from north of Boston to Hyannis for 5:30.
Yeah, for 5:30. Well, if remote will help you, or we could
Let's do
have
the
someone
remote.
else stand in.
Yeah, let's
Is
do
that
the
possible
remote.
for you to set that up?
Remote is fine with me. I
Okay.
can, if that's what you want to do for that meeting.
Remote is fine
I
with
don't
me.
want to sway you into deciding that if that's not what you want.
Well, I mean, we've
I think
certainly,
the remote.
yeah, people seem to like the remote better. So,
Well, I can tune in wherever I am on that day, definitely.
all right. So members, will we do remote
Yep.
for the
Remote.
October
Yep.
21st, 2024 meeting?
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
All right.
No problem.
Very good. And then any additional public comment from folks before we move on here? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. So move.
Second,
Second.
Second?
Wait, can we
Yes.
go minutes? Can we go?
Oh, we
minutes?
skipped over the minutes. Oh, very good call. Very good catch. Very good, Ellen.
Thank you.
Approval of the draft Community Preservation Committee regular meeting minutes from August 19th, 2024.
Okay.
Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Deb Converse,
yes.
Catherine Garofoli,
Yes.
Tom Lee,
Yes.
Farley Lewis,
Yes.
and Lindsay Council votes yes. We had a previous motion to adjourn. Any discussion on adjourning? Any unfinished business for anyone? No? All right. I'll call the roll. Deb Converse,
Yes.
did you have something, Deb?
No, I was just thinking, what am I supposed to say here? I got lost in the adjourned seconding.
Oh. Catherine Garofoli,
Yes.
Tom Lee,
Yes.
Farley Lewis,
Yes.
and Lindsay Council votes yes. Thank you very much, folks.
All right.